My name is Stereo Mike.
Bonus.
Yeah, we got 3 tickets to the Brand Van concert happening this Monday night at the Pacific Palisades. You can all in if you want to answer a couple of questions. Mainly, what is Todd's favorite cheese? Jackie just called up and said it was a form of Roquefort. Let's see about that. Give us a ring ding ding. It's a beautiful day.
I'm a fucking star. I'm a shooting star.
The Rizzler's
baby.
back.
No, this isn't the Rizzler. This is movie star band voice.
Oh, nice.
I'm a star.
You've Austin Butlered yourself.
Oh, yeah.
This is how the Cherub character talks.
Yeah.
You just never actually hear it.
I know most of you haven't seen Cherub yet, I've talked about how there isn't any dialogue, but he does do a voiceover wall to wall. He says, "My name's Harvey Cherub. It's nice to meet you. I bet you're wondering how I ended up like this. Well, it's actually a pretty interesting story.
Well,
My story begins in 1990.
That makes
Mount
it
Sinai.
seem like it starts in media res, but it kind of just starts at the beginning.
It starts at the beginning. You're right.
Yeah. It starts in media start.
It farts in media start.
Farts in media start.
Yeah. They did have to, part of the sound design, a lot of times is additive, right? You're putting in sound effects.
Yeah.
You're removing certain bits of audio, but for the most part, the films are shot and have boom mic operator, location sound mixer. Our friend Alex, also named Alex.
Nice.
But then you go in and put other things in afterwards. A large portion of the sound design, and sound editing in Cherub was taking out my farts. They just had to go through and remove it.
Yeah.
Throughout, we're talking wall-to-wall voiceover and wall-to-wall farts.
They're just slipping out of you.
Like that.
Yeah.
All the time. Just like that.
Is that like a nervousness thing of
Yeah.
yours? Yeah.
Yeah.
They just escape.
Actually,
they escape out your ass.
A lot of actors do it.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a couple of famous farters. Nicole Kidman, famous farter.
Jennifer Lopez,
Yeah,
famously.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody knows that. That's an open secret.
That's true.
Both Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. So when they're on set together, it's like toxic.
It's a
awful.
cacophony.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Cacophony of fart.
But I'm Harvey Cherub, but I'm here to say sometimes you should just be yourself. Sometimes being seen by other people can be very difficult, very painful, but actually it's worth it in the long run. You'll find that, and I just keep talking like this for the entire episode. And that's what's great. That's my new movie star voice, where I kind of say let's pretend you're like a famous agent. Your name's Alex. You're a famous agent.
Hey, I'm Alex, the famous agent.
Oh, Alex. Hey, it's great to meet you, Harvey. Wait, my name's not Harvey, but yeah. What's a good Hollywood like Benny Turnbull or Benny T. It's Benny T here. I'm sure you've noticed I've been popping off at Cherub, making all the trades, Variety, Hollywood Reporter. There's multiple other ones, I assume. They're all writing about me. Everyone's talking. I'm just Donald Trump. No, it's just Donald Trump. They're all writing about me.
Saying very nice things.
Yeah, and I'm looking for some representation. Would you be interested in representing me now that I'm a big Hollywood star?
Well, you have a famously poor attitude and an lecherous way with the ladies.
Oh, that's one way of putting it. Another way of putting it is that I'm a cool bad boy of cinema. I'm an enfant terrible.
Yeah.
Like Lars von Trier.
You're going to start your own pussy posse?
I've already started it, baby, and it's a posse of one.
But also Lucas Haas.
It's a posse of two. Me and Lucas Haas. Yeah, I said I was watching a film the other day, Witness, and
nice.
I said, "Get me that Amish boy! Get me that Amish boy right now!
I'm assembling a team.
Send me that Amish boy here. He's gonna be my wingman." Just like he was Harrison Ford's wingman in Witness.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets laid, right?
Harrison Ford?
Yeah, doesn't he have a relationship with a sexy Amish lady?
Famously. Oh, in the movie. I've never actually seen Witness.
Yeah, Callista Flockhart is actually Amish. Okay, well, that's enough silliness. We're here to talk about important things.
Yep.
We're here to talk about important things.
The new remix of We Bring the Boom with the Rizzler.
Oh, I don't want to hear that. You already showed me that, right?
Yeah, his verse is really good.
Everything I know about these people, almost everything I know about them, And it is from you. Anytime,
Good.
any Instagram reel, I never watch. Only see them from you, and I know that you send them to me because it's like, this is funny. This will, Ben will get a kick out of this. Like, it'll be annoying or whatever, right? It'll be stupid. And then I watch it and I'm like, this is so bad for your brain.
It's brain rot.
You could be watching. You could be on TikTok watching Winter Light clips. You could be watching Winter Light 60 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
The silence of good. You could be doing that. Why aren't you doing that? Instead, you're watching a twisted family of
The
freaks.
Costco guys from Boca Raton.
Yeah, it's just wrong. They're just wrong.
The song is good.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, you can't. You can't do this.
It's going to win a Grammy. It's going to win a Grammy, an Oscar, a Tony, and whatever one.
Emmy.
Emmy.
That's the
one.
EGOT.
EGOT, yeah.
The Rizzler would be, the first child to win an EGOT. Yeah. I actually think that's possible. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Anyway, I hate him. I hate you. And I hate everybody who likes them.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, sorry. I don't actually hate you. I don't hate you. Okay. So what are we doing here? It's a bonus episode because we're going to talk, I'm going to talk as briefly as I possibly can about Vancouver International Film Festival and Montreal's Festival de Nouveau Cinema, where I got to go with Devin to show the film CHERUB, which, listeners, I don't know when it's going to come out, if it's going to come out, where it's going to come out. I really have no idea. So, but stay tuned. We'll tell you as soon as we can, of course. And but let me just tell you about the experience. Like we went out on the 2nd, October 2nd, and it was cool. They put us up in a hotel. Like we're downtown Vancouver. I really like the city. Like I guess I had been to Vancouver twice before, like once in high school and once in university, but I don't know if I ever really got a good sense. Like I was there to do other things, right?
Hollywood's hat.
Now I was there donning Hollywood's hat, putting it.
Vancouver is Hollywood's hat.
I was put, but yeah, and I took
and you
that
took
hat
that hat
and I put
and
it
you
on.
wore it.
I wore the city. I shouldered the city like Atlas shoulders the world.
Probably looked pretty spiffy.
Yeah, it was cool. I actually did get a VIFF hat. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, sure. You brought it.
I had, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's my toque now.
That's great.
Yeah, I know. I had to pay for it. It was like, oh, maybe we'll just get one of these for free. No, not this baby. $30. But it's a good memento. But I don't know. It was really cool. Like we actually did get the opportunity to see some films there. So I saw Caught by the Tides, which I've been talking about.
Yep.
I saw Rumors, the Guy Madden movie.
It's like I'm thinking of seeing that.
You should definitely see it. Like I don't know. I think it's a flawed film, but it's very funny, and I think you'll really appreciate a lot of stuff in that movie.
Okay, cool.
I saw Dahomey, which was good as well. And we saw The Big City. They like TIFF, they show older films, so we got to see a kind of morning screening of The Big City. And then we had the 2 CHERUB screenings. The first one was the world premiere of the film, and it was at the Cinematheque in Vancouver, which is not it's probably about 120 seats or so, and it wasn't full or by any means, but we had a pretty decent crowd there. Nice. Including a couple of friends, high school friends. Yeah, it was really nice. We were nervous all day, definitely. But when we got there and it started playing, like not only did the DCP look amazing, it's because I've only seen it on some like Vimeo link or whatever. It looked incredible, and the audience was responsive to it. It's not like a laugh out loud film necessarily, but people did at this screening, which was great. Yeah, and the Q&A went really well. You could really feel there was a lot of like love and energy in the room, and in Vancouver, I was kind of like Toronto, but everyone's a little crunchy. Everyone's like 25% more of a hippie.
Yes.
And but you could feel that kind of energy in the crowd, and it was really nice. It was a good place to premiere it. And then the screening the next day was slightly less energy. It was in the afternoon, but still really good. Yeah, and I don't know. I felt like a little prince, I felt like a little Hollywood star. And then Montreal, similarly, I was a much shorter trip. I could only really be there for 2 days. And the first screening was on Thanksgiving Monday, which was kind of funny. And
Yes.
Alex came.
It's true.
Yeah, and friend of the show, Sam.
I was there. Sam was there.
And indeed, producer of the show, quote unquote, Nico. And Yuki.
Former guest.
Yeah, well, I forgot she's on that. And Will.
Yes, past and future
past
guest
and
as
future
well.
guest Will was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a crowd.
It's
Yeah.
franchisees reunion.
Yeah, and so that screening was a little bit more mellow. Like, I didn't really feel... I actually had a hard time watching it that time because I was
interesting.
just kind of like, I've seen this a lot, and I don't know.
It didn't help that I kept glancing at you.
Yeah, Alex...
I was like glaring. I was like leaning in.
Yeah, kept leaning over and pointing at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saying, that's the cherub.
That's you.
That's the titular cherub.
It's you.
Yeah. But then the screening on Tuesday night at Cinema Moderne, which is a really beautiful space. I don't know if you would call it a micro cinema. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. It's 50-something, 55 seats, and it was sold out. They had to turn people away.
Nice.
And that was great, too. I had some other friends show up, and yeah, it was just like that really felt like the best way to kind of leave it off because like it was really good. The energy was great. The Q&A was really great. Here's the real takeaway, right? To make a movie is a pain in the ass. For me, it was very easy. The actor is very easy job, especially when it's like not a stressful environment like Cherub was, right? I didn't really have to do very much. I didn't really have to worry about very much. Now, after it comes out, it's kind of like, okay, now it's kind of difficult because you're the face of the movie. And if people hate the movie, they associate it with you, right? I'm up on the screen the whole time, right? No, the reception has been positive. And I would say the number one reason to make a movie or to act in your friend's movie especially is to be in the Q&A. Because in the Q&A, you can be a total ham and everyone will eat it up and everyone will love it. And, I was on fire. Oh, so great. There was a French guy who asked, like, what is a cherub? Like, is it a made-up word?
Oh, wow.
And Devin was like, oh, no, it's like, it's like Cupid, like a cherubic figures, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I am the cherub, c'est moi. And everyone laughed. Yeah, that's right. Everyone also laughed when I mentioned the hotel I work at and that I'm not an actor and all this other stuff.
I had a laugh at that. I just thought it was funny that you felt the need to bring up the hotel.
I had to.
Any chance you got.
Oh, yeah. I really had to. No,
Well,
people really liked it. And yeah, the reception was really strong. Like you can go on Letterboxd right now and you can look at some of the reviews. They're all pretty nice. I'm kind of waiting for a bad one. Like, I'm sure there are people who didn't. I mean, I know there are people who didn't like it, but for the most part, they haven't logged on to eviscerate the film on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. And the other update is just, stay tuned. There's going to be a Toronto screening eventually. It might not be this year. It might be in 2025.
Just put it up on Pornhub. Get distribution through Pornhub.
Someone's going to, So somebody, not wink, wink, not me, but somebody, wink, wink, not me though, is
somebody.
But somebody, wink, wink, is going to put it up on Pornhub,
Mm-hmm.
YouPorn, FuckTube,
X-Hamster,
Xporner. You ever go to Xporner?
No, I've never even heard of that one.
Now that's a niche. Yeah, it's not niche, but it's like that's a nice site. That's a classy site. Xporner, Xfornicate, Exfoliate,
Xfuck.
Exfoliate sounds like a skincare site. It's not. It's not. It's for porn. Yeah, Xfuck, Xsuck, SuckTube, and StruckTube, the furniture store. We will also be
distributing the film. It's going to be on in-store TVs.
It's going to be
in-store.
Cherub is going to be
system.
playing at max volume at every StruckTube in Ontario.
Yeah, it induces a state where you want to shop for modernist furniture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, and it was cool. I don't know. I got to meet some cool people. I got to meet Anastasia, who does the music in Cherub,
of course,
for the first time.
Interesting score.
Yeah, it's so good.
Very moody.
Yeah. I got to there was a filmmaker lunch in Montreal where Devin and I got to talk with Kazak Radwanski, Toronto filmmaker, and whose film Matt and Mara I'm going to see tomorrow. So
Oh, nice.
I'm looking forward to that. And and I tried not to geek out too much, but I was also like at the very end, like, put me in your movie. I'm a professional non-actor now.
Matt and Mara and Ben.
Matt and Mara and Ben.
Your best friend, Matt Johnson.
My best friend, Matt Johnson. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll be best friends with him. I don't care. I don't care if I don't. No, never mind. I don't care. Yeah, and then Bruce LaBruce came in at the very end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and sat down. I knew he was right away, but and we introduced ourselves. But he was sat on the other end of the table, and it was like, you know what? There's already a lot going on. I don't think I can. I don't even know what to say. I actually haven't seen any of his movies. That's seems
I don't know
wrong.
if I've seen a Bruce LaBruce movie.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't name one off the top of my head.
I know some, but I have never seen any of them. So
I just kind of know him as a Canadian film legend.
yeah, exactly. No, it's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
anyway, Montreal, very cool. They're announcing the awards today.
Oh.
If we win an award, which is highly unlikely, we were in the national competition,
Yeah.
which is great. I don't think we're a contender, but if we happen to win an award, I'll edit it into this episode. I'm sure.
Well, when do they get announced or something?
I don't know. Sometime today, probably later tonight.
We did not win.
Curious just to know who does win, because it seemed like a cool festival. They were
cool.
actually playing friend of the pod's films, The Guess We Doze.
Yeah,
I saw.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's
they had
right.
a little screen up for them.
The Guess We Doze actually won an audience award. The winner of the national competition was Measures for a Funeral.
Yeah, in our national competition, they played 9 movies.
Cool.
One of which is Matt and Mara. The other one is another movie starring Derek Campbell, Measures for a Funeral. So it was, Dara, and Ben. Matt and Mara and Dara and Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Landmark year for all of you.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I mean, it's pretty cool. And then everyone's like, wow, it's going to be crazy at work when you come back. No, it's not. They're all used to it.
Everyone's
and
just been like, hello, Ben.
yeah, everyone's like, how was it? I'm like, it was great. And they're like, great. When can I see the movie? I don't know. No, I started sending it out to people.
Oh, nice.
Hey, and listeners, if you're like a listener, if you're a real freak or something and you want to link to the movie and you don't want to wait, like you can email us at thefranchisespod@gmail.com and I will send you a screener link to CHERUB. And it'll be on Vimeo. It won't be on Pornhub or Xporner or ePorner.
Is Xporner real?
It's called ePorner. ePorner is
Okay,
real.
okay.
Yeah. It's just it's just all the regular videos.
I'll have to take your word for it. I don't touch that stuff.
Yeah. Alex lives a kind of style life.
Which we'll be talking about imminently.
Yeah.
Which will come out weeks for you.
Yeah, years in the future.
You have no.
I
reference
shouldn't
point for
have said that.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll frickin' bleep it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. For the people who don't know, for the 10 people who listen to this godforsaken show. Okay. Well, let's also talk about just because we're going to do our Halloween special, but it's not going to come out until early November. Woo! Ah! Boo!
And as a guest of the pod who has yet to guest in the timeline continuum said, you should watch horror movies year round. People watch horror movies in October. It's fun. It's a cute thing to do. We've certainly been doing it.
Oh, yeah.
But you should watch horror movies year round. But this is also the first time we've seen each other, to record in quite a while.
Yes.
So we have a ton of movies to catch up on, a lot of which are horror films.
Primarily. So let's talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want to go we'll trade off maybe?
Tit for tat.
Tit for tat, yeah.
Spit for spat.
Yeah, spit on that thing, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Hawk
Hey,
Tua.
I'm going as Hawk Tua for Halloween.
Are you going as Hawk Tua? You're going as Hay Welch?
Yeah, what's her name again? Halia?
Isn't it like Haley?
Khalil?
Khalil Welch.
She there's a great video of her. So I've never seen the show, right? Or listened to it, obviously, of course. What am I doing? I'm watching horror movies instead. I saw a clip that someone put on Twitter or whatever that was like somebody showed her a like a Photoshop picture of her talking to
I
Kim
love
Jong-un.
those. Yeah, those are so funny.
And she's like, "Who's that? Like, why is he in my studio?" And they're like, "It's the leader
Bobby
of North
Lee."
Korea." And she's like, "Oh, I don't know." And she's just so completely, I don't know, like she's like a child. It's great.
One of her friends mistakes Kim Jong-un for Bobby Lee.
Oh my god.
Yeah. She's like, "When did you meet Bobby Lee?" She's like, "Who?"
He's the leader of North Korea.
Yeah, I knew he was something big.
Oh, and I actually done a Zoom in North Korea a few weeks ago. Huh.
She really does talk like this.
I know.
Who?
It's kind of charming.
Yeah, it is charming. I know. I see why people like her.
Yeah. I don't
'Cause they're like, "Oh, that's cute." She spits on that thing.
She spits on cocks. It's
That's
fine.
cute.
It's fine. Yeah.
She's from the South.
It's better than going to Costco.
Hey, I agree. All right, what do you got? Horror movies.
Well, listen, pal. Ben's been sitting here telling me that I only watch Costco guys, but I've been watching Capital C Cinema. Okay, I've seen some really great stuff this month.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about this one probably more on the normal episode of the pod. But I watched Cries and Whispers.
Oh,
Well,
that's a horror movie.
It is. It is kind of the horrors of grief. And
Yeah, the horrors of dying horribly.
Yeah. But more on point and unrelated to future franchises, I also finally watched The Substance.
Oh, what's your substance?
Let me tell you, it should have been called The Style. Am I right?
Hey.
Over The Substance.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I really wanted to like it because I did not want to be in league with Ben. I didn't want to be like, grouchy.
You're all in league with Ben.
Cinema dude just being like, this isn't very good. What are the general populace thinking? But I didn't have.
That's how I said. That is how I said.
I didn't have as much fun as other people in the crowd. The screening got off to a bad foot. Before the movie started, a woman announced to the whole theater, she was like, "Buckle up, guys. I hear this is really scary."
Really? Just some person said that?
Just some fucking tool. And that put me in a bad mood. And then, sure enough, people are oohing and awing during the movie. Me and my friend of the pod, Max, who I saw it with, we just started joining in just to kind of entertain ourselves. We were like, "Oh, this is disgusting. I think I'm going to be sick."
Yeah.
But it feels.
Oh, wait. Actually, this is really hot. I'm gonna fucking take my dick out right now and fucking drink it.
Precisely.
Right?
But
they show her ass a lot. It's a real ass movie.
So much of it kind of felt weird.
It's so funny.
As satire, it's shallow, almost obsolete satire because it ignores the influence of social media and lives in this kind of world where workout videos are still the thing to aspire to, which I get is a bit fantastical and satirical, but to me it just doesn't really work.
I don't think it works either.
And I don't know. I just didn't have it, and I hate to say this, I hate to say it, but it feels like a movie for kind of like Saltburn for normies to watch and be like, I saw this super fucked up thing on the weekend. Margaret Qualley turns into a fat bitch.
That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. And so this is the thing is the discourse around it has been so toxic, which I guess maybe isn't surprising given the sort of content of the movie, but so many conversations around not just the substance, but whatever the movie du jour is, where everyone's talking about it on Twitter and everyone's fighting and everyone's there are people who are like, if you like this movie, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're also fat phobic, or you're racist, or you're this or that.
Yeah.
And people sort of assigning this moral sort of judgment on whether or not you like something, which is very funny. And then, but I mean, it usually is the other way around. There are people who are like, if you I love this movie, and if you don't like it, you're just being a pretentious film bro, or you're just being a snob, and what? And it's not that serious. It's a B movie. You're supposed to have fun and blah 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 blah, right? And so much of these conversations where the two sides clearly are not listening to each other. So much of these conversations could be solved with somebody saying, "I understand what the movie is trying to do. I understand it's whatever. It's a B movie, or it's a satire, or it's a this or that, or it's whatever, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's doing what it's trying to do poorly." You know what I mean? But it's just so funny that
seemingly in these back and forths, no one can just sit down and say that, or the people who like it, who can say, I liked it.
It worked for me.
It worked for me.
Yeah.
I understand why it didn't work for you. You know, it's so simple. Like that's the conversation you just have to have. Like people talk very definitively and very objectively about this movie being good or bad, and it's like that's not really how art works. Like you know, like you know, I think it's bad. I think to me it is objectively bad, but that's not something you can actually believe in or say.
Yeah.
That's just your own subjective opinion, right? Like. It just bothers me that so much of this could be solved with a conversation that's like, I get why you like it, and I get what it's doing. Instead of people being like, you don't understand it. It's like, no, I do understand it. It's very easy to understand. It's
not a complex film.
It's not a complicated movie. I don't think it does what it's trying to do well. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not trying to do that. It's that simple. It just drives me crazy. Yeah. And it's like people who are like smart too. You know, people who have good taste or like interesting opinions about other things.
Everyone can be an idiot.
Not me. not once in my life. Hey everybody! Wow! All right, cool guy, smart guy.
Ben T. Bull.
Ben turn bullshit. Ha! This is my new smart guy voice. Crunching equations. E equals MC squared. That's the equation. All the only stupid people know.
That's the cinema formula.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Gotta ask Will about that. I like that when Will asked a question at the Q&A, he asked like a science question. That was great.
Did
he? Yeah. Oh yeah, you had to leave. Yeah.
I was curious how Devin got that footage of the cells and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's sort of what he's talking about.
Okay.
It's someone he found on YouTube, and he did end up asking him for it, which is good.
Yeah, totally.
There are other certain bits of footage that have not been cleared.
You got a movie for me?
Oh no, I didn't watch any horror movies.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I watched a lot. On the plane. Actually, on my birthday on October 1st, I kicked it off by rewatching Frankenstein.
Nice.
Just on the commute. I mean, you know, it's a good movie. What are you going to say? It's a classic.
Ayo.
Right? On the plane, I watched 2 horror movies I hadn't seen before. 2 British films, Quatermass and the Pit, and also The Appointment. And I knew I was going to like both of these. I definitely, the Quatermass and the Pit, something I'd been aware of, but was really brought to my attention by Mark Fisher whatever the like kind of main hauntological book he wrote is, but also The Weird and the Eerie, I think also talks about it, and talks about some of the other films I've been watching, some of these Ghost Stories for Christmas that were these kind of hour-long, 45-minute to an hour-long films produced by the BBC that would show on Christmas Eve and and sometimes Christmas Day. So I'll talk about all these. Quatermass and the Pit is just really, really great, like sci-fi. Oh, but cool. it's also I would say like horrific in its implications. You know, like I have so many. I probably shouldn't just get into what they are, but let me just recommend that one to you. It's okay. If you want something that's like genuinely weird, feels like a really good like Twilight Zone episode.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's that kind of vibe. And all the other Quatermass movies are really good too. He's the professor in it. I also watched years ago the Quatermass Experiment, which is the first one, on a plane. And great movies to watch on a plane because they're weird. They're not like it's people would definitely look over and they're like, what is he watching? But it's not it's not like violence, hard violence or nudity or something. Right. People are like, what a freak. It's like what the hell is that?
Yeah. Fair enough.
And then The Appointment is this sort of like previously lost or nearly lost British film starring Edward Woodward, who is the guy from The Wicker Man, and really great sort of continuation of his Wicker Man role where he's like,
oh Jesus,
yeah, oh Jesus Christ, where he is fated, to horrible fate, right? And the whole movie is just this anxiety dream predicting this awful event that's going to happen, basically. And then it happens, and it's like so satisfying. It's very there's a bit of the kind of weird pent up like sexuality aspect to it as well. Yeah, it's really well done. It's I think I actually heard about that first from that Quentin Tarantino's podcast, which is funny. I don't listen to that. I listened to that when
yeah?
it came out,
Mm.
like for a month, but I stopped. But honestly, I should, because like I heard about stuff I've never heard about before, and like yeah, he's annoying to listen to, but he's no Ben Turnbull annoying. You know, he's no Alex last name annoying. Yeah. Anyway, The Appointment, like actually, honestly, 5 stars. Like
I'll check it out.
it's one of those movies where it's like that's there ain't nothing like that.
Well, I love that guy.
Yeah, and then those Ghost Stories for Christmas, it definitely the one I'd seen I think last October is what's it called? Whistle and I'll Come to You, which is referenced in one of the Alien movies as well. Alien Covenant, they make a reference to that. That one is kind of the key one, but I also saw A Warning to the Curious, which is just as good, and Lost Hearts. These are all available on the BFI app, I imagine. And yeah, they're so good. It's Ghost Stories for Christmas. You don't have to watch them at Christmas. They're not Christmas themed, so you can absolutely include them in your October watch list.
What a relief!
You got to. Yeah, I know. Listen, let me.
Everyone
tell you,
was really worried for.
It's okay. You can watch A Warning to the Curious any month of the year.
Oh, phew.
Yeah. It's really good. These are all like Mark Fisher, kind of weird and the eerie, hauntological sort of things. You know, things in places they shouldn't be, and so on. Yeah, they're really good. They're really strong. Yeah.
Okay. I watched Ichi the Killer, the Takeshi Miike kind of Yakuza horror film.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in ages.
It was the first time I'd seen it.
Yeah. There's cum in it.
They're literally the opening titles appear in a pool of cum.
I know. It's pretty silly.
It is silly.
Yeah.
So I remember it from like high school era, it being kind of kicked around, you know, on these lists of like really disturbing movies and stuff like that.
Of course.
But watching it now as an adult, some of the effects of the era, and I think probably purposely done so at the time, are kind of hokey and silly. And I think it's a lot more fun of a movie than like a really fucked up, disturbing film. It very much feels like a live action anime movie, like a seedy anime, like the guy who made like Ninja Scrolls and Wicked City type live action anime film.
Yeah.
And if that sounds appealing to you, you should check it out. It's pretty lurid. It is lurid.
I am curious to watch it again.
But it's a fun watch.
Yeah, because that was definitely a high school like this is fucked.
It reeks of that.
Yeah. Like Audition too. I need to rewatch because
I just rewatched that the other night.
Oh yeah, pretty good.
Yes, after having read the book, I can say that I think I like Miike's film adaptation of Audition more.
Is it pretty close to the book?
It is. There's just some like stylistic things that I think were presented more interestingly in the movie. Actually,
okay.
It's quite. It's not my favorite. It's the other literary Murakami. It's Ryu Murakami. I've read a few of his books now. Piercing, In the Miso Soup, and Audition. I think my Audition is my least favorite of those 3.
Yeah.
I think
interesting.
His slightest book I've read. I think the best one is In the Miso Soup. That is a very stomach churning book. There's like a really intense, almost American Psycho-esque sequence of violence in it. But you can't put it down. He's a lurid writer, but you can't put his stuff down. Both literary Murakamis are valid.
Yeah. Don't let anyone tell you they're not.
Don't let them. And then, you know, keeping in line with Ichi the Killer, I watched Mikey and Nikki, the Elaine May movie.
A horror movie about male friendships.
Yeah. But honestly, kind of.
I kind of like Mikey and Nikki.
Which one's which?
No, see, this is a joke I get another one I made with Devin where it's like, just any 2 guys. As long as one is like...
We are kind of like Rick and Morty.
We're kind of like Rick and Morty, yeah. Just any 2 guys, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Blowjob Brothers joke, like any 2 guys I see, that's Mikey and Nikki over there.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I only watched it really recently with Maxim, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, right?
I liked it. I watched it with my mom. She's a big Peter Falk head.
Peter Falker.
Yeah, she's a big...
She's a falconer.
She's a big little Falker.
Yeah, she's a big little Falker, yeah. Yeah.
But we had a good time watching it, and it is, you know, a really... I wasn't really surprised with where it goes and where it ends up, but I appreciated that it went there in the time that it did.
Yeah.
And it is like, you know, a warning that sometimes you gotta check your bros.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes if bro is wilding out and is not listening to other bro, you know, You got to check him.
You got it.
And that he doesn't mean you have to. Doesn't mean he has to. You have to arrange. Well, you have to bring him to the
Philadelphia mob.
Yeah.
Go Eagles.
Doesn't mean you have to get him shot to death in front of his house. Necessarily, but you do have to check him.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a good lesson, and that's a good lesson for us too. Sometimes we have to check each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then just really quickly before I pass it to you, I'll shout out this black and white claymation movie called Les Bêtes, which is French for the beasts, that played at the Great Canadian Horror Film Festival that my short played at.
Nice.
This was a stop motion animation created by one of the animators who worked on Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Wow.
And it was like clearly there was an audience prize, and there was a Toronto production that had like a lot of people from the cast and crew show up, so they won because they filled the house. But this was by far, in my opinion, the best movie that's screened. It was just this beautiful, creepy, dark fantasy animation about a bunch of like
beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy.
Yeah, it was the music that played was Gorgeous by Kanye West. But it's about all these like anthropomorphic, like toy-like creatures that get heralded into this like court of this evil king, and then it's almost kind of like Sallow-esque, where these like aristocrats and these nobles just kind of like slaughter these toys. And it's just like, it's one of those like creepy animations that it made me feel like I was a kid, and you're like watching something on TV, and like in Canada they would show a National Film Board cartoon, and you just be like, what the fuck was that? Like that was so kind of like dark and creepy. I was really impressed by it.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that because that sounds really good.
Yeah, shout outs to the filmmaker Michael Granberry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the last day in Vancouver, I was tired. I could have seen some more movies at the festival, but I had a hotel room. I just wanted to go relax. I actually got some edibles, which I hadn't done in a while, and
Nice.
it was good. It was good little segmented little experience. But then they just made me go to sleep so fast. But I was hoping there would be TCM on the TV, on the hotel TV.
No TCM.
No, they had AMC, and they were showing Friday the 13th 2 and 3. So I watched those, but when I say I watched them, I mean like I was like half asleep.
Yeah.
And also they were playing with ads, which was disgusting. Like it's insane watching. If you watch a movie with ads on Tubi, that's fine. Like the ads are not that bad. On AMC, I was like, oh my God. Like they took a movie that's like an hour and 25 minutes and stretched it out to like 2 hours and 15 minutes with ads.
It's aggressive.
And it's super aggressive. And I thought, this is really harshing my mellow. So I don't really, can't say I really remember what was going on there. And then I guess similarly along those lines, skipping ahead a little bit, the night I came back from Montreal, I was also tired and was just unpacking and doing laundry and whatever else, right? And so I put on Friday the 13th, the final chapter, the fourth movie, and then also A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, both of which I've seen before.
Simultaneously.
At the same time, two dual monitors. And I thought this would be an interesting idea because, well, I had already seen 2 and 3 again, right? So why not just go with 4? But 4 is like considered to be, by some, considered to be, if not the best Friday the 13th, then the one that's the most representative of the series, you know, that represents kind of the best of what the series has to offer. And I would agree, it is really good. Like, it's violent. That's part of it too, is that it's actually really funny that you would think all these movies would be so violent, but by the time after 4, the MPAA starts to cut things a lot more intensely because there's so much more focus on those movies. So like Friday the 13th, like, I don't know which one it is, like if it's 7 maybe, or for example, it's one of those ones, whatever one John Carl Buchler directed, he's like an actual special effects guy. And so the kills are strong in that movie, but they're all cut. They cut like right after it happens. So you don't get to really see it. You know what I mean?
You don't get to
and
revel
it's actually kind of like, it's kind of sucks. It's like actually a really not violent movie, but this one is. And then Dream Warriors, just because it had been one I hadn't seen in like over 10 years or something, and is also considered to be like the good Nightmare on Elm Street sequel, right?
Okay.
And it is. No hot takes here, really. They're good. I watched some other movies, like non-horror movies on the plane back. Over the Edge, Permanent Record, and The Go-Between. I'd recommend all of those. Don't need to get into it necessarily. but good movies. And then we can talk about this because I know you saw this one. So I watched. Well, not this one, but Death by Temptation, which is a movie I'd meaning to see for a while, which is directed by director with one of the great names in show business, James Bond III.
No way.
Yeah, and he's in that. It also features like kind of a early Samuel L. Jackson performance,
Nice.
and Bill Nunn from Do the Right Thing, and also the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Cool.
And it's great. It's like I guess like a kind of quintessential like mid 90s kind of black horror, and it's actually a trauma movie. I guess it's actually probably one of the best trauma movies there is, because it's actually really funny. It's like satirical. It's smart. It's sexy. It's also like
The Substance.
Yeah, The Substance. Yeah, it's also like a little rough around the edges. Like maybe like obviously some pretty low budget and whatever, but it's very good and definitely worth watching.
Okay.
And then 2 Japanese horror movies, one of which I know you've seen, both from the same director.
Right. Yes.
The first one I started with Kuroneko, or like Black Cat, the Black Cat. And this is like a straight up ghost story, and is much more is like kind of undeniably like a horror film, and really, really creepy portrayal of ghosts. Like kind of one of the best like ghost movies.
I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, for sure you're going to like it. And I know you will, because on the same day, totally independent of each other. Kismet, yeah. We both watched Onibaba.
Yeah.
Which is, and both of these movies are directed by Kaneda Shindo, who made The Naked Island, which I am definitely planning on seeing soon as well. That's kind of his other acclaimed kind of masterpiece he made before these movies, and is not, as far as I know, horror related. Onibaba is interesting because I think it would often get sold as a horror film, but it's not necessarily like belongs to that genre entirely, right?
No.
Yeah. I was completely like I really liked Kuroneko, and I figured Onibaba would be good, but and this is just a testament to the power of the movie. I was watching this on my commute on my iPad, right? And like I'm splitting it up throughout the day, which I know is not ideal. You shouldn't do it. But I'm a professional. I'm allowed to do it. I'm watching it on the bus home at 1:00 in the morning, on the little screen, and it's the ending of it's the last like 15 minutes of the movie, and I am so zoned in, I am so locked in, that it's like I might as well be in a movie theater. You know what I mean? I was so vibing so hard with this movie that the entire day of work, I was like, I got to get back to Onibaba. Every phone call, I was like, I'm just doing. I'd end the phone call saying, I have to go now. I have to go watch Onibaba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Onibaba.
Thank you. Yeah, Onibaba. You wouldn't happen to be an Onibaba, would you? Because our hotel has a strict no Onibaba policy.
You can't let them in.
Anyway, what did you think? I know you liked it.
I loved it. It's a movie that I've heard about for a long time. You see it kicking around. It's like a famous Criterion title. And I've been meaning to watch it, and I finally did. And it was so nice. It's like that feeling where you wrap up the movie and you're like, oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, I just watched a masterpiece, Every aspect of it works super well. It's got so many elements that I love. It's kind of like a folk horror, if it's any kind of like horror.
Yeah, it is a bit, I guess, right?
It's got a bit of a Twilight Zone-y thing going on. And it's also just has like a really kind of intriguing period piece feudal Japan kind of story about these like people living like on the outskirts of a war kind of, which was really, again, felt very like theatrical or literary.
Well, yeah,
it kind of reminded me of A Field in England as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they are in like a
field in Japan.
Yeah. That in the reeds or whatever it is, I guess it's whatever. It's what kind of grass is it?
Just
like,
tall grass.
But it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like you just picked up the Blu-ray, right?
Yes.
I can't wait to watch it again and actually properly sit down and
It's shot beautifully.
On a bus.
The score is really cool. It's a lot of like those kind of Japanese hand drums. Like
it's so intense. Like okay, it's like a sweaty like sex movie too, which I was not expecting. And
got
I was
some
watching it at
eroticism.
work, and I was like, "Oh, geez."
Yeah.
I just kind of assumed it would be relatively safe because it's from the '60s.
There's
but
nudity.
There's nudity in it, and it's also like it's fucked. The movie is like psychologically very fucked.
Yeah.
But the scenes where the daughter is leaving the hut in the middle of the night to run across to fuck the guy, and the score is this propulsive kind of drum score, but it also has this like, it sounds like pigeon warbling. It's like yeah, it's so weird.
Beautiful nighttime photography. Beautiful like raining nighttime photography for the 60s too. Like
They shot it on location too.
yeah, it looks incredible. It sounds great, and it's just this like creepy little like folk fable.
Yeah.
So it's kind of everything I would love.
Oh, it's great.
I gave it the Cowards 5 stars on
You'll give
Letterboxd,
it
but
the
I think
5.
I'm
You'll
gonna
give it
up
the
it to
5.
5, like because I can't stop thinking about it. I just bought a copy at the big Bay Street video day sale.
Yep. Or if you're listening to this, it's too late. You will not get 15% off. You will have to pay normal amount of money.
You cannot buy Onibaba.
Yeah. I am so excited that you watched it. Like, I went on Letterboxd and was like, "Oh my god, Alex watched it. When did you watch it?" It's like same day.
Same day.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's so good. All great movies have a giant pit in them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
All the best movies. Citizen Kane, Jaws.
Love that
They
pit.
all have giant pits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Memoria, giant pit. I'm looking around your apartment. The Holy Mountain, giant pit.
Giant pit under the mountain.
And
300.
300 giant pit, of course. Yep. Yep. Silence of the Lambs.
It's just very good, and you should watch it.
Onibaba. Oh yeah, the very ending of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
When I was really locked in. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I'm not a demon. I'm a
Yeah.
human being. I'm a human being.
And just that final kind of freeze frame. I won't say what over what, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's
So
so good.
cool.
It's so good. I mean, there should be an Onibaba anime.
I'm okay with it as it exists.
Yeah, I agree. I take that back. Oh, Willem Dafoe bought the rights at some point to remake it.
Oh wow,
Willem Dafoe's a big Onibaba head.
that's
like
cool.
us.
That's another thing I have in common with him.
And there's a Criterion Closet video where he's like, "I bought the rights to." That doesn't sound like that, but you know what he said. He's like, "I bought the rights to." How does he? It's terrible.
Oh, that's it.
That's terrible.
You know, I'm something of an Onibaba myself.
Yeah, I'm something of a demon hag myself. That's how it was translated to my. It was translated as demon hag.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but he was like, I could never figure out a way to approach it.
Yeah.
Because it's a culturally specific, right? Like, how is he gonna? I don't know.
Transpose it to New York.
Yeah,
baby.
right. I
She
guess
falls in a sewer.
Abel Ferrara's
Yeah.
Onibaba. Yeah. All right, what else you got?
So I saw, for the first time in my life, I watched Heathers. Now
Great.
that should be an anime. Yeah, you know what? It is great. Was surprised by how, we talk a lot about movies these days that come out, being like dark satires or black comedies, but are kind of toothless. I was really surprised by how much teeth Heathers actually had.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's kind of a vicious movie in its own way.
It's really funny.
Yeah, and it's quite funny. I'd never seen it before, and I recognize it now as one of the great teen comedies of all time. Big Heathers guy now. Then I watched very much a horror film. I finally watched In a Violent Nature.
What do you think?
Similar to how we've all kind of been feeling, I think it's a genius idea. I wish he committed to it a bit more. The filmmakers.
I agree.
I think with a bit of thought, there would have been ways to kind of communicate this idea that there's a slasher film going on in the peripheries, but we're zeroing in on the killer and their perspective, where you still could have communicated all that info without kind of like, breaking the form. And then also I kind of wish it took itself a bit more seriously too.
Yeah.
The slasher film that is kind of happening around this, slow trudging Jerry type movie is quite hokey. And I think it would have been a bit more fun if it took itself a bit more seriously. But shout outs to Reese and Alex. Congratulations to them. It was really surreal and strange to watch a couple of people I went to school with get brutally dispatched. Particularly Reese, who plays the park ranger. That was really weird watching him get just kind of slowly dismembered.
That's another scene that I thought didn't work really well.
Wow. Yeah. because he's kind of incapacitated throughout it, so he's
Yeah.
not like screaming or anything.
It's
you
kind
know?
of
It's
just it just
kinda
feels
happens.
it feels like a mistake. I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever.
But
But
you know, I
Canadian cinema.
Canadian cinema. We're
Yeah.
always fans, no matter what.
We're here for it. We're part of it. I watched a movie that I know you kind of have a soft spot for.
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched The Crucible,
Well, yeah, I do have a soft
another Winona
It-
Ryder film.
Similar to how Giles Corey has a soft spot all over his body after
That
being
gets
smushed
pressed.
by rocks. I also the actor who plays Giles Corey is in A Warning to the Curious, the British film. That British actor.
Isn't he
More weight.
also in Game of Thrones? Or
Yeah,
maybe it's a different
that sounds
character.
about- Oh no, I think it's a different guy.
Yeah, but anyway, that moment at the end where Daniel Day-Lewis,
I've abandoned my boy.
Yeah,
I've abandoned my child.
it's the only one I have.
Yeah, it
because
really is.
It's amazing
Because it is my name.
He goes full send. Winona
Yeah.
does her best.
He's got crazy teeth too in that movie.
Yeah,
Like a period appropriate teeth.
yeah. A very just competent adaptation, I guess.
Yeah, total like English
Yes.
teacher wheels in the movie cart, and it's like honestly really not that bad. I think would not be of much interest were it not for Daniel Day-Lewis. I watched it because Daniel Day-Lewis
Yeah.
is in it.
I watched it for Winona because
Yeah.
it's part of the Winona collection on the Criterion
Winona.
Channel. Yeah, Winona's Big Brown Beaver, Primus,
Interesting.
Island of Lost Souls.
Oh, great. Oh, Charles Laughton. I watched a
Yeah.
Charles Laughton movie too. Oh, great.
A classic. I think it's really funny that the sayer of the law is just Boris Karloff in like a lot of hairy makeup, and he's just kind of dressed like a bank teller, and he just goes, "What is the law?" Like,
Yeah.
you know, these old-timey movies, they have like an aesthetic and a feeling that you just don't get these days that I think is quite creepy in its own way. Like seeing some of these shadowy figures in their kind of old school makeup to kind of look like beast people, it's effective in a way that you couldn't really get anymore these days. So thumbs up from me.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is effective. Charles Laughton is great in it, and yeah, it's also kind of. I mean, it's like pre-code too, right? It's like it's I wouldn't say
The House
it's
of Pain.
violent, but there's definitely some saucy elements to it.
Yeah. Vivisecting a man alive or whatever, but you don't
Yeah.
really like see anything too graphic, but he just
No.
talks about it.
Well, not quite a horror movie as well, but featuring Charles Laughton and certainly a gothic atmosphere. On the train back to Montreal, I watched. Well, here I'll tell you these. On the train back, I watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame from 1939, which is like the classic movie adaptation. Obviously, the whole design of Quasimodo in that movie is very much taken as inspiration for his design in the Disney film, and also similarly, like it's a great adaptation. I felt like this is good, like classic Hollywood movie making, like huge crowds for this French city, a beautiful production design, and for the most part, a really good adaptation. And his Quasimodo is very good,
Awesome.
but it does have the happy ending. Esmeralda is not killed, but it does have some gnarly Quasimodo defending the Notre Dame. You know, it's all these. It's a classic like Victor Hugo, like all these like misunderstandings that lead to all this violence and death and so on, right? So he thinks the people are attacking, trying to take Esmeralda away when they're really trying to rescue her. He pours molten lead on everybody. I don't know. It's actually really like, you know, when people say a movie is handsomely mounted, sometimes that can be a bad thing. Derogatory. I am saying handsomely mounted, complimentary.
Okay.
And then Straight Jacket, which is a William Castle movie, sort of falls under the hagsploitation genre that The Substance is somewhat riffing on, about Joan Crawford, who is a double axe murderer who comes back 20 years later from the insane asylum to live with her family, and but things are not good. She's maybe still a crazy and wants to axe murder, or does she? And it's one of those movies. It's super trashy. I liked it quite a bit. It's almost like the reveal that happens at the end, like the twist. It's actually written by Robert Bloch, the guy who wrote the novel Psycho. Okay. So it's very Psycho core. So of course there's a twist, but the twist. The movie almost would be better without the twist. The twist is very silly though, and that counts for something. Like I had a good laugh. I actually did, as they say, laugh out loud on the train. On the way there on the train, I watched Dracula's Daughter and Son of Frankenstein, two sequels, original like Universal horror movie sequels. Dracula's Daughter is the sequel to the original Dracula.
Wow.
Does not really have, I mean, I guess the Van Helsing character is transferred over, but it's basically like, what if we all know Dracula didn't have a daughter. What this movie presupposes is, what if he did? and what if she were a lesbian? There's a bit of that. This is again like right on the cusp of like the code starting to being taken seriously and so on. And it's like there's some lesbian overtones in the movie. There's really only one sort of scene where, well, there's a couple scenes, where she's like preying on young women and so on. It's actually pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I thought the actress who plays Dracula's daughter apparently really like held the role in contempt. Like was like, this is not serious acting. And there's a bit of that self-loathing in it that actually works really well because like she doesn't want to be Dracula's daughter. She wants to just be regular daughter. Anyway, I thought it was well done. Son of Frankenstein, also pretty well done. I mean, this one actually has Boris Karloff as Frankenstein. I guess it's the third in the series after Bride of Frankenstein. It is nowhere near as good as the two James Whale movies. But Boris Karloff, of course, as Frankenstein, but Bela Lugosi plays Igor in it. And he gives a really great performance. He kind of steals the show a little bit. They had hanged Igor, but they only broke his neck, but they didn't kill him or something. So he's got this big bone sticking out of his neck and stuff. Anyway, really, some really great sets and some great Frankensteining running around and so on, going ooh, but obviously not at the same level as the other one.
Did I say Boris Karloff was in Island of Lost Souls, or did I say Bela Lugosi?
I think you said Boris Karloff, but it is Bela Lugosi.
It's Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, that's right.
My bad.
No, that's okay. It's two easy guys to mix
They're
up.
interchangeable.
Well, yeah, one of them's sort of an Alex, one of them's sort of a Ben. One of them's sort of a Mikey, one of them's sort of a Nick.
Hey.
One of them's sort of a Rick, one of them's sort of a Morty. It's just two guys. Yeah, and then of course this is the question: like gay son or thought daughter, Dracula's daughter, or Son of Frankenstein? Son of Frankenstein or Dracula's daughter? What would you rather have?
Gay son or thought daughter?
You ever heard about that?
No,
that's not the question I'm asking you.
Oh, Dracula.
We all know the answer to that question.
What's the answer to that question?
Well, it really depends on everybody has a different answer.
Okay, yeah.
Well, my answer: why not both? Son of Frankenstein, Dracula's daughter. I would also say why not both? Wouldn't that be nice to have a Frankenstein and a Dracula's daughter?
I would just go with Dracula's daughter.
Although the difference, of course, is that Dracula's daughter is the daughter of the monster Dracula, and Son of Frankenstein is the son of
Frankenstein's monster.
No, it's the son of Frankenstein, the doctor who makes the monster.
Interesting.
There's not like a little mini Frankenstein running around, which
know.
is a flaw of the film, I would say.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. Anything else you got?
Yeah, I watched another Two Guys movie, kind of the polar opposite of Mikey and Nikki. I watched I Love You, Man.
Mm-hmm.
Super duper charming.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd at the peak of his powers, kind of, because it really is his movie. Like, he is the main driving force behind that movie. He's on screen the most, and he just exudes. You just want to hang out with Paul Rudd. You're watching it and you're like, no way Paul Rudd doesn't have friends. This is the most like charming man on the planet. And I saw like on Letterboxd I'd given it 3 stars, and on rewatch I was like, I was too tough on it. Like, because the whole time I was watching it, I just had a smile on my face if I wasn't flat out laughing. Mm-hmm. And the supporting cast is great. J.K. Simmons is the dad. Andy Samberg is his brother. All the like people he gets set up on mandates with, like Thomas Lennon and Joe Latrubio.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a cute movie.
I remember it being a big deal when it came out.
I also watched Rebel Ridge. I once again, unfortunately, found myself in league with Ben. It's a place I don't like to be.
With the devil.
Yeah. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a good movie. It just wasn't white knuckle intense. But it was fun to see friend of the pod, Anna Sophia Robb, who of course was...
Is she our friend?
Yeah, she was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. She was one of the spoiled kids. Was she the gum chewing one?
The gum chewing kid.
Violet Beauregard.
Yes.
So great to see her, Soul Surfer.
Yes, Soul Surfer. You know, I saw that was playing on a plane, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to watch this, but I do want to see the scene where her arm gets bitten off by the shark.
Just that one.
And so I fast forwarded to it, and she's out on the surfboard, you know, kind of like she's lying down on the surfboard, right?
Yeah.
And then a terrible. This is maybe worth going and checking, but in my memory, a very bad CGI shark just comes up and goes like really quick, so that you don't even actually. I guess it's kind of effective. It's very like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
but it looks bad. They ate her arm.
Poor ASR, but great that she's back in the pictures.
Yeah, I guess so.
So really quickly, I saw The Last Detail by Hal Ashby.
Great movie.
Great classic
Great
Jack
movie.
Nicholson movie filled with, anger towards the system.
Smash the System, the CIS, Tim, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the first Smash the
Right.
System movies.
Yeah.
They're all cis, but they do smash the system.
Yeah. Well, they try, but sort of.
Oh, right. They fail. I forgot they fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do fail.
The Platform 2, the sequel to The Platform, I watched that on
they
Netflix.
made another one of those shitty pieces of shit, eh?
But the thing is like, I like those kinds of
I know,
prison
I
as
know.
parable for the
Yeah.
society man
Yeah.
movies.
The circle,
like
the triangle,
Cube,
the cube,
the train,
yeah.
Snowpiercer.
Yeah, Snowpiercer. Yeah.
This one felt really, really unnecessary. Ended up kind of feeling dumb and frustrating and
don't
not
say.
fun. Very disappointing. I watched Creepy, the Kiyoshi Kurosawa movie.
Damn, nice. I still need to see that.
It is effectively creepy. Just, was hoping for a bit of a new bag of tricks is all I'll
Yeah.
say, because you haven't seen it.
No.
But it is effectively creepy.
I'm
I will
gonna
give it
try
that.
to watch that this October.
Hilariously bad title, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's probably some dumb English translation too.
Maybe. I watched the original Ring,
It's not
the
bad.
Japanese movie. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally not bad. And honestly, like, I have so much respect for it just for having such an amazing horror concept and conceit. I know it's based on a book, but like, still,
It's a great idea.
it's an incredible idea. 4 stars just for having an amazing idea, even if the execution is a bit wonky. It makes me really want to watch the Gore Verbinski version because
It's good.
I think I might prefer that in my memory.
I actually do think it's better.
Yeah, okay,
I know.
wanna-
I imagine for years that must be like an apocryphal take, but I have seen them both, and I think the
Yeah.
Gore Verbinski one is better.
Now, the last horror film I'm going to talk... Oh, and then I watched Suspiria. It's a fucking classic. It's so much
What
fun.
can you say? It's a classic.
There's a big, dumb, hulking Romanian henchman.
Yeah, I forget about that. Is he Romanian?
Yeah, Pavlo.
Who's not Romanian these days?
I quoted in
So
my
in right now.
letterbox review, "This is Pavlo, our general handyman. He's really ugly, isn't he? Don't be afraid to say so. Can't understand you anyway. He speaks only Romanian." And I felt very seen.
This is the year of Romanian cinema.
We're taking over. But then the last big actual horror movie I watched that everyone's talking about is Terrifier 3.
Wow.
Yes. I
we
saw
should-
Terrifier 3.
Why aren't we doing that for the podcast? What are we doing?
We
Human
probably would
centipede?
get a lot more hits.
God damn it.
Whatever. We'll do it eventually, I guess.
No.
I can't tell you how many times I fainted. I can't tell you how many times I walked out.
They had to resuscitate you.
This movie is fucked up.
Do you think is it really more violent than the second one?
No.
It's pretty much more of the same stuff, right?
It's more of the same. I think I did like it more because it is shorter. The second one tests your patience a bit.
I know.
The gore effects in these movies are fun, and it is mean. Like there's like a mean streak to it that is kind of nasty. But you're watching it and you're like, oh, that's like a fun practical effect. I find it really hard to believe that people are watching this and like fainting from it because it's not realistic, really.
No.
It's like over the top, silly practical gore, which is fun, and it can be done really meanly and savagely, but it's not repulsive, or at least it's not like.
I know
to
what you
me,
mean because
but-
it's just a bunch of rubber and plastic and right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've only seen Terrifier 2 and 3. I do think this one is an improvement on 3. Am I an Art the Clown fan? No, I don't want to say so. But like whatever. It's I think I'd rather watch it than The Substance.
Yeah, maybe so. I am considering going to go see it in the theater.
Yeah.
Even though I kind of don't want to. All right. Well, in the interest of time, I'm going to wrap this up as well. A couple of folk horrors that are on that All the Haunts BRs set: Allison's Birthday and The Demon.
Cool.
Or Il Demonio. Allison's Birthday, like witchcraft, like Australian kind of occult movie that was pretty good. Really solid ending. Like that's really that's the kind of ending that you want for something like this, where it really does feel like consequential and like horrifying and Twilight Zone-y, right?
Cool.
But yeah, like a little rough around the edges as well, but that's okay. The Demon, really solid. It's actually from this guy who co-wrote a lot of Fellini movies, Brunello Rondi. I directed this movie about like basically sort of another witchcraft movie about this very clearly like mentally unwell woman in the small town in Italy who just gets like tortured basically because of her illness and her acting out that is perceived as witchcraft and possession, and it's obviously, I feel like if not a direct influence, definitely anticipates a lot of stuff that was used in The Exorcist, including like a kind of crab walking scene as well. I know that did get cut out, but The Velvet Vampire, great like American vampire. What a vampire polycule movie! I threw out my script, Vampire Polycule or Vampire Thruple. I threw it in the trash after watching this movie.
Those ideas still have merit, Ben. They still hold water.
Vampire Thruple, you think?
I thought of a funny name for a Pee and Poo movie, but I fucking forgot it.
Oh, try to remember it. I actually did go back to the well and dipped my wick, my John Wick, to see Megalopolis again in the theater.
I saw you saw that again.
Yeah. What did I get from the screening? Well, I'll tell you, I laughed a lot more just because I knew things were coming and I had a good laugh. In particular, a friend of the show, Maxim, was mentioning something. I don't know if I was maybe just like overwhelmed by so much of the movie the first time, but that when Adam Driver takes off the bandages for the first time, and you see there's like he multiplies, there's like 5 or 6 of them. There is a sitar kind of strum, like sort of whatever Orientalist kind of, and it's so I knew it was coming, and it was so funny.
I love the memes that have been coming out of people going to see Megalopolis, and there's people like exclaiming to the screen like Megalopolis.
I have not seen that.
Oh, it's really funny. Like it is becoming kind of like a culty type, like let's go.
Oh yeah, well that's great.
Yeah.
I watched some other Japanese horror movies on the channel, Criterion channel, The Ghost of Yotsuya.
Good collection.
Gokei Body Snatcher from Hell.
Nice.
Gokei Body Snatcher from Hell is fun, but it's there's some good visuals. Again, good ending, like pretty fun movie. The Ghost of Yotsuya is directed by Nobuo Nakagawa, who made Jigoku, which is this crazy movie about hell.
Oh, nice.
That it's kind of like, when are we going to get at the fireworks factory? Because you're just hanging out with these no good Japanese teens, but eventually they do bad things and they go to hell, and the hell scenes are insane. Like
cool.
You should absolutely see Jigoku. But after you've seen that, if you want more of the same sort of vibe, definitely The Ghost of Yotsuya is pretty good. And it's basically just like, it's like, are there consequences to me murdering everybody I don't like? Yes. You'll be haunted by their ghosts. Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. Also, a.k.a. Howling 2, Sturba, Werewolf Bitch, starring Christopher Lee. It's pretty fun. The end credits, it's weird to say the end credits are the best part of the movie, but the end credits of the movie are the best part of the movie.
Sometimes that happens.
Dario Argento's Opera, which is one of the big Argento movies I hadn't seen.
Cool.
Really good. Oh, so he's just, I don't know. I know some people don't like him. I know a lot of people can prefer Fulci to Argento. I might even say that to some extent, because a lot of Argento movies, there's a lot of the stuff that isn't the kills, like the in-between stuff, can be kind of dry. This movie's really good. The camera's always moving. There's always a very weird vibe.
Yeah.
The kills are fantastic.
Same with Suspiria, kind of.
Well, Suspiria is like Suspiria is his, Suspiria is the best, for sure.
It's one of the best movies.
It's one of the best movies. Opera is also very good.
I gotta check
that's
it
what
out.
I'll say. Yeah, it's very good. The ending, again, is bonkers, like in that one. And that's pretty much it. Like, Spider Baby, also a great sort of foundational horror movie. Spider Baby feels like a huge precursor to Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. With the whole like weird family who kills people. And that's, I watched Anne at 13,000 Feet, which was very good. That's one of the movies, the Kaz movies, and
right.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that. Not a horror movie, certainly horrific if you
Fear
know
Matt Johnson.
If you know, if you're Matt Johnson, or if you have any experience being a flaky mentally ill person like me.
Ooh, the perils of mental anguish.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the film festival roundup / horror movie / regular movie roundup.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed. And you're going to be going back into the regular episodes, which I imagine this will come out between Human Centipede 2 and 3.
Hope you enjoyed the Human Centipede 2 episode, and I hope you're looking forward to Human Centipede 3.
I hope you enjoy Human Centipede Poo and Human Centipede
P.
Oooooooooooooooo.